Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Brennan gets rid of Cyrus' body and pushes Jocelyn to join WSB. General Hospital recap for Friday, February 21st, reveals that Jack Brennan had a team get rid of Cyrus Renault's body and push Jocelyn Jacks to join the WSB. Let's talk about all the action that played out in Friday's wild episode. At home, Brooklyn Quartermain spilled the story of her teenage pregnancy and how Lois Cerullo helped her with a quiet adoption. Although Brooklyn was sorry for lying, Harrison Chase didn't see it that way since this was her secret to tell. Chase was understanding about the whole thing and admired Brooklyn's strength even more after this news. Brooklyn admitted she didn't even know if the baby was a boy or a girl, so Chase eventually wondered if she thought about looking her child up. Although Brooklyn worried it wasn't fair to derail her now-grown child's life, Chase acted like it could be a good thing. At Drew Quartermain's place, Jason Morgan pushed for a truce for the sake of the kids, but Drew wasn't interested. Drew made it clear that he was done with the hypocritical Quartermains and kicked Jason out of his house. Next, Sasha Gilmore Corbin told Tracy Quartermain about the PI who was seemingly snooping for Michael Corinthos' info, and assumed it was Willow Corinthos' attorney. After Sasha mentioned spilling her due date to Elaine Smith, Tracy wound up asking if she was going to marry Jason. Sasha realized Tracy was curious about whether she wanted this baby to be a real Quartermain. However, Sasha was adamant that she wanted nothing from the family and could take care of everything herself. Tracy kept fishing for information, so Sasha finally blurted out a fake confession that Jason was indeed the father. Jason arrived in the Quartermain kitchen immediately as Sasha made the vow, but she took off. That left Jason to meet with Tracy alone, so he admitted Drew was coming after him. Even so, Tracy was pleased to have Jason there at the Q home with Danny Morgan. At GH, Isaiah Gannon told Lucky Spencer's loved ones that they gave him medicine to counteract the digitalis, but it was too early to predict his prognosis. While Elizabeth Baldwin and Aiden Weber were visiting Lucky, his monitors started going berserk. Lucky's heart had to be shocked, but Portia Robinson ultimately offered optimistic updates since he was stable and would be okay. As for Lulu Spencer, she was shocked to learn Cyrus caused her liver damage through his catastrophic plot. However, Lulu also understood she might never have woken up without that liver transplant upsetting up her system. Lulu felt responsible for Sam McCall's fatal ending, but Laura Collins claimed the burden belonged exclusively on Cyrus. After Isaiah enjoyed a nice moment by his best friend's hospital bedside, Lucky's family visited him as well and pushed him to wake up. Jordan Ashford helped Anna Devane figure out Cyrus' connection to Austin Gatlin Holt, so Anna made a phone call checking for any of Austin's old houses in the area Cyrus was headed. Once Anna nailed down the cabin that Cyrus was likely using, she relented on having Dante Falconeri be part of the team to corner him. At Cyrus' hideout, Brennan retrieved Dex Heller's gun from Jocelyn and said he'd been outside, but he didn't actually witness what happened. It would be tricky to show self-defense, especially since Jocelyn bringing the gun there could point to intent. Instead of notifying the authorities, Brennan convinced Jocelyn that they should take care of this themselves. Now that the WSB was engaged, Brennan stressed that Jocelyn couldn't tell anyone, not even Carly Spencer. Brennan accompanied her back to the WSB office after Jocelyn reassured him that she could remain silent. Jocelyn was instructed by Brennan to take a shower and leave everything she had brought to the cottage in the restroom. Colette Girard noted that the police were now searching for Cyrus after Brennan told her about Jocelyn killing Cyrus. Though he alluded to one exception, Brennan sent a crew to clean the cabin since he understood time was of the importance. Jocelyn had a shower, changed, and then went back to Brennan to deal with some shockers. Brennan finally recommended that Jocelyn initiate this by requesting that WSB surveillance footage be provided. Jocelyn was unhappy that Brennan had shown her a picture of Cyrus pursuing Dex, even if he had known the truth all along. Brennan, however, was curious to see Jocelyn's reaction. Brennan expressed his desire for Jocelyn to join the WSB after acknowledging that she was unique and had the required traits. Jocelyn questioned whether Brennan had fabricated everything to gain power and force her to comply with his wishes, but Brennan denied this. Brennan hoped Jocelyn would take his offer seriously, but he was doing all in his power to solve this for her. Brennan had her car hauled over, So he gave Jocelyn her car keys after giving her money for a new phone. When Brennan and Colette Gerard were alone, he proposed that Jocelyn should believe it was her idea when she returned to them. Put differently, Brennan seems to have aimed to create the appearance that Jocelyn had a choice in joining the WSB. When Dante and Anna returned to the cabin with backup, they found it spotless and Cyrus nowhere to be seen. The PCPD was trying to figure out what was going on, so Anna phoned forensics to look into it nevertheless. According to General Hospital spoilers, Anna will continue her investigation, so we'll share our predictions about what she might find. After Cyrus attacks, Lucky survives and Jack explains why he has been supporting Joss. After Cyrus attacks, Lucky survives and Jack explains why he has been supporting Joss. Chase hears the majority of Brooke Lynn's candid conversation about her adolescent pregnancy on General Hospital today. Tracy is informed by Sasha that her child's father is Jason. Jason and Drew fight at Drew's new house. Chase questions Brooke Lynn's statement that she had a kid in their room at the Quartermain estate. She claims that when in high school, she gave birth to a child and placed it for adoption. Not even the baby's father is aware. Only her mother is. She apologizes for not telling him. For her it was such an odd moment. She knew she wasn't prepared to be a mother and was afraid. Since she was a child, Chase can relate. She was appreciative of her mother's support. Chase inquires as to if the choice was difficult. Although Brooke Lynn says she had no intention of ending the pregnancy, she swiftly decided to place the child for adoption. She was already overwhelmed and didn't need her family to judge her, so she didn't want the rest of them to know. She claims that Lois organized everything for her and her mother's tour. She never even got to see her child. Chase acknowledges how difficult it must have been for her, and that she is unsure if she had a boy or a girl. Startled, she asks, "Aren't you upset with me?" Chase is told everything by Brooke Lynn GH. Chase claims he has no resentment toward her. Although Chase claims she just kept a portion of her background confidential, she feels she lied to him. He says she selects who she shares it with because it's her past and it occurred to her. Since her falsehoods have been the root of so many of their issues, she finds it hard to believe he is not upset. He questions why she told him now, but reiterates that it wasn't a lie. She confesses that she has been keeping this a secret for so long, because she couldn't allow him to continue criticizing himself for never becoming pregnant. He expresses gratitude to her for sharing this with him. According to Brooke Lynn, she trusts him with her life and loves him. "Right back at you," he tells her, and they share a kiss. Chase and Brooke Lynn cuddle Jeet. She feels foolish for not informing him sooner, and they cuddle in bed. She was worried about his reaction. Does she evaluate herself, he asks. She claims she sacrificed her child in order to provide a better life for him or herself. He questions whether she ever considered looking for them. He thinks having her in their life could only improve it, but she is unsure if that would be fair to them. He says she is free to choose, but he will assist her if she wishes to locate her child. Tracy grins at Sasha. Tracy informs Sasha in the kitchen that she would like a cup of tea, and wants to review the menu for the hospital benefit. Sasha jumps right in and informs Tracy that a private investigator has been sniffing around, and that she believes the investigator is trying to find out more about Michael. She assumes she is employed by Willow's attorney. Sasha can feel Tracy is keeping something from her, so she asks. Tracy responds, "Good guess and thank you for the information." Tracy inquires as to whether Jason will marry her if her child is his. Sasha believes she wants to know if she wants to officially declare her child a Quartermain. Sasha speaks with Tracy. Tracy claims she got pregnant by the favorite, not just a Quartermain. Monica adores Jason, and her mother loved him no matter what he did. Sasha says she wants to raise her child alone, and doesn't want anything from the Quartermains. According to Tracy, if Jason is the father, the child is actually a Quartermain. Tracy and Sasha discuss the baby GH. Jason is thrown out by Drew. Jason wants to declare a truce at Drew's in order to respect Sam and their children. Drew questions what's changed. According to Jason, Danny and Scout must cooperate for the benefit of the children, because they are siblings and depend on one another. "Because you are all about family?" rages Drew. Jason and Drew argue Jeet. Drew claims that he has always pondered what would happen if Susan Moore picked him instead of Jason. He would have had a family and grown up as a Quartermain. All Jason did was repeatedly harm their parents, and he would have delighted to have what Jason had. However, Jason now wants to return to the family. Jason can have the Quatermains, according to Drew, who will be here with Scout. Jason finds it unbelievable that he would protect Scout from her brother. As Scout's father, Drew claims he will act in her best interests. Drew and Jason quarrel about GH. According to Drew, all Scout needs is him, Willow, and her children. He claims that he gave the Quatermains his all, and that the moment he achieved something for himself, they abandoned him. Drew claims that since he is wealthy and has the Q name, he is not in need of the associated family. Then he dismisses this hitman. Tracy greets Jason at home. Tracy is pressing Sasha when Jason gets home and walks into the Quatermain kitchen. Yes, Jason is the father. Sasha relays the news to Tracy. Are you content? Tracy looks at Jason and exclaims, I guess congratulations are in order, as she storms out. She hopes that he has no plans to move out. He tells her that he isn't because Danny needs stability and this is his home. Since he is a member of this family, she is happy that he is putting them first and being loyal to them. Given that Drew is pursuing him, Jason says she might not want him around. Drew and Tracy cheat. Tracy says Willow was probably persuaded to hire the PI by Drew, who is coming for all of them. Drew believes that Michael's family has turned against him, and Jason is aware that the PI is looking for information about him. That makes him the enemy, according to Tracy, and she is very happy he is here. Jason is welcomed home by her. Fortunate accidents. Lucky's family is informed by Isaiah at the hospital that he is stable, but they are still unaware of the exact dosage of digitalis that was administered to him. They're keeping an eye on him. If they can see him, Laura asks. Laura instructs Liz and Aiden to go first after Isaiah says they can. They go to Isaiah's chamber. Isaiah converses with Lucky's relatives GH. Portia encourages Lucky to persevere in his room. Lucky, who has tubes and monitors attached, is visited by Liz and Lucky. Aiden tells his dad he only needs to wake up after Liz praises him for saving her life. Aiden acknowledges that having his father back has been wonderful, but he must wake up. The monitors start beeping abruptly. Liz and Lucky GH. Since Cyrus is her brother, Laura feels bad when she informs Lulu in the hallway about his role in her liver failure. Lulu assures her mother that she is not at fault for anything. Lulu claims that the drug response is what caused her to wake up, thus she wouldn't have woken up if Cyrus hadn't been there. However, if Cyrus hadn't done what he did, Sam would still be here. Laura assures Joss that Cyrus, who never ought to have been released from prison, is too responsible for everything. Lulu is informed about Cyrus GH by Laura. Laura notices that something is off when Aiden and Liz show up. Liz informs them that Lucky's heart stopped once more. Helpin sobs. My father is dying. Something is wrong, Lulu. Isaiah and Portia use the paddles and compressions in Lucky's room to try to save Lucky. Later, Portia rushes out and informs the family that Lucky has returned and would be all right. The danger is over, but he still has a long way to go, she says. Lucky GH is saved by Isaiah and Portia. Even though he may be a huge pain in the ass, Isaiah tells Lucky that he doesn't know what he would have done if he had lost him. He soon receives a visit from his family, who beg him to wake up because they need him. Isaiah with Lucky GH. Jordan tells Isaiah in the hallway that they are all thankful to him since she heard he saved another life. Finding Cyrus. In another scene, Dante and Anna question why Cyrus is traveling down Route 41 when there is nothing else to see. Why did Cyrus pursue Liz? Dante asks. According to Anna, she and Lucky discovered proof that Cyrus was the murderer, and he told Liz everything before attempting to harm her. Dante claims they have him at last and that while he can flee, he is unable to hide. Why was Cyrus murdering these individuals? Dante asks. He described it as a holy mission to free trapped spirits, but Dex and Sam stood in his way, according to Anna. Anna and Dante discussed it. Later, Jordan tells Dante and Anna that she has discovered Cyrus has a long-standing family relationship with the Gatlins. Anna inquires as to whether that might be Austin, whose murder case was never resolved. Anna calls to see if Austin has any homes in the area. Later, she receives a callback with an address close to Route 41, which is Cyrus's intended route. Jordan and Anna leave after Dante urges him to keep them informed about Lucky. Anna receives GH news. Jack offers something to Joss. Joss complies with Jack's request to give him the weapon at the cabin. Cyrus had passed away when Jack looks for a pulse. Joss claims he intended to murder her. Jack saw it when he was outside, so he knows. Joss says she hasn't phoned anybody else when he asks. They have a small window to hide this, according to Jack. Are they not going to call the police? Joss wonders. According to Jack, they could handle this on their own. Joss conceals GH's murder. Where did Joss get the gun? Jack wonders. Disposes, Joss says. Who will think this was self-defense, she cries when everyone knows she despised Cyrus and thought he killed Dex. Jack acknowledges that arguing in a court of law will be difficult. He claims that no one, not even her mother, must know if he becomes involved. He informs her that they are departing after she claims she can be quiet. What about my fingerprints? She asks. He informs her that no one will ever know she was here since they are departing. Jack conceals a murder. Joss is unique. Joss is taken to his office by Jack, who tells her to take a shower and use the restroom. He advises her to abandon everything she owns, including her phone. They will be a change of clothes for her, he explains. Then he cleans the rifle. Entering the restroom, Joss reenacts shooting Cyrus. She throws up after running to the bathroom. After taking a shower, she can't stop thinking about killing Cyrus. When Colette shows up at his office, Jack tells her that Joss was carrying a gun and that Cyrus is dead. He's going to hide this because he claims she just called him. Colette claims that there is an issue since Cyrus assaulted Liz and Lucky tonight, and that an APB has been filed against him. Anna will find Cyrus' cabin in no time. She also worries that because Joss is a child, she won't keep quiet and would want to tell someone. Colette should get a team to clean the cabin and make everything disappear, save for one item, he says, telling her to leave Joss to him. The Joss issue with Colette. Jack stores the firearm in a cabinet after bagging it. Joss asks what's going on after exiting the restroom. He inquires as to whether she disclosed the address or where she went tonight to anyone. She questions why he provided her the address when she didn't. He claims that the night he requested Dex's video, she started this. She tells him that since there was no video, it didn't help her. He gives her a picture of Cyrus assaulting Dex and acknowledges that there was. Why didn't he call the police, she asks. He was curious to find out what she would do. Joss and Jack discuss Jeep. Joss inquires as to whether he is teasing her because he has feelings for her mother. Jack maintains that this is solely about Carly and has nothing to do with her. He claims that she is unique and possesses all the necessary traits to be a superb WSB agent. He desires for her to join them. Joss believes that everything was staged, and he persuaded her to kill Cyrus in order to pressure her into joining the WSB. Jack claims he was unaware of her gun ownership, but why did she bring it with her? Although she claims to be protecting herself, she is not a spy. He claims that it does. She defends and shelters herself by acting rather than by hiding. Joss is upset. She shares the evidence she discovered with Jack when he inquires about what transpired in the cabin. She then fired in self-defense as Cyrus swung a hatchet at her. He queries whether she would have fired the gun if Cyrus hadn't attacked her. Joss is unsure. She should be glad she didn't call the police at that time, Jack advises her. She would make a fantastic agent, but he claims he will protect her even if she declines his offer. But tonight she'll need a tail. He offers her money to purchase a new phone and hands over the keys to her car, which he had brought there. He gives her the order to inform everyone that she lost hers. We'll be in touch, Jack adds before she departs. Jack tells Joss the truth. Colette comes back and is shocked that Joss was able to leave so easily. Yes, Jack responds, and it's better she believes it's her idea when she returns. Anna and Dante locate the cabin. Anna, Dante, and other cops return to the cabin. They enter by kicking in the door while brandishing their guns. There are no indications that anyone has ever been inside, and everything is spotless. Anna requests that a police officer call forensics. She promises to find evidence if Cyrus was present. Jack has a plan for Jocelyn, Chase stands with Brooklyn, and Lucky fights for his life. Harrison Chase collects his thoughts after learning that Brooklyn Quartermain had previously been pregnant in today's General Hospital episode. He then listens as she tells that the father was unaware of her pregnancy because it occurred when she was a teenager. She informs him that the truth is only known by Lois Cerullo. Chase isn't shocked that Lois was on her side when she talks about how terrified she was at the moment. Although she realized she couldn't tell the family, BLQ explains that adoption was the right course of action. After 5 months of touring with Lois, she returned and carried on with her life. She is surprised that Chase isn't upset with her because he knows how difficult the entire thing was for her. He responds that it isn't a lie when she apologizes for lying. She has the freedom to decide with whom she reveals this aspect of her past. Because this was a lot to go through at such a young age, Chase asks BLQ whether she is okay. She is far stronger than even he realized, he assures her. The prospect of locating her child is then discussed. Chase assures her that she has the last say and that he will back her choice. Drew tells Jason about his jealousy. The fact that Jason Morgan is in his home demanding a truce astounds Drew Quartermain. After beating him up just before Sam's burial, he questions why Jason suddenly wants to respect her wishes. He begins to stalk Jason, wishing he had been sent back to Port Charles when they were younger so he could have spent his childhood with Monica. Rather, he is the brother who brought the gang home and was abandoned at the age of 18. What Jason has always taken for granted, he wished he had. Despite the fact that he falls in love with the wrong lady and is despised by everyone, Drew is incensed that the deadly hitman always has a place in the Quartermain family. With Scout by his side, Drew is prepared to leave the family. Then he orders Jason to leave his home. Sasha communicates her desires to Tracy. Tracy Quartermain would like to have a cup of tea with Sasha Corbin. Sasha volunteered that she believes Elaine, a private investigator, is spying on Michael Corinthos. Sasha responds that she told Elaine her precise due date, and believed the woman was employed by Willow Corinthos' divorce lawyer. When Tracy asks what information she divulged, when Sasha notices that Tracy is keeping something from her, she asks what it is. If Jason is the father of Sasha's child, Tracy wants to know if they are getting married. Tracy claims that a Quartermain, not just any male at the pub, is the reason Sasha became pregnant. As Jason enters the kitchen and overhears, she badgers Sasha until she gives in and admits that Jason is the father. Jason abruptly shifts the topic and informs Tracy that Drew is starting to cause trouble. Tracy concurs and expresses her gratitude to Jason for staying at the residence. As Anna and Dante act, Lucky is touch and go. Lucky Spencer is under guard and has stabilized. The first people to enter and view him are Elizabeth Baldwin and Aiden Weber. Lucky is holding his own, Portia Robinson informs Liz. While Lucky is unconscious, she and Aiden speak to him and tell him to wait. Liz also acknowledges that he saved her life. Aiden expresses his gratitude to Lucky for having him at home for the past few months. Liz drags Aiden from the room while Lucky begins to code. Laura Collins informs Lulu Spencer in the GH waiting room that Cyrus Renault acknowledged want to relieve Lulu of her suffering. She accuses him of being the cause of her liver failure. After some discussion, Lulu considers the sequence of events and decides that she might still be in a coma if Cyrus hadn't caused her liver failure. Dante Falconeri and Anna Devane are attempting to determine Cyrus's destination after seeing his car on camera. Cyrus confessed to Elizabeth about killing Sam, Dex, and other people. Anna informs Dante. Dr. Austin Gatlin Holt, who was shot dead in 2023 and whose murder has never been solved, is the result of Jordan Ashford's search for anyone associated with Cyrus. Because Cyrus might be hiding in one of Holt's properties, Anna requests a list of all the ones he owns or rents. After receiving what she thinks is the most likely address, she and Dante head to investigate with lots of backup. Dante kicks in the door as they get there. As they move around, they see that the cottage is nearly too immaculate to have been occupied or abandoned. According to Anna, they will discover something if Cyrus has been there. Jack offers Jocelyn something. When Jack Brennan enters, he discovers Cyrus dead on the ground. He requests that Jocelyn Jacks provide him the gun and advises them to either clean it up themselves or call the police. His testimony won't stand up in court because he was not in the room when he heard what was going on between Joss and Cyrus from outside the cabin. He assures Joss that while he can handle the problem, she must pretend she never went to the cottage and never speak. They depart after she swears she can do it. When she returns to the WSB office, Jack instructs her to use the restroom, take a shower, and leave everything she took into the cabin there. He informs her that she has a change of clothes inside. She enters and becomes ill after having flashbacks of what Cyrus said earlier in the evening. Jack drops the revolver on his desk after taking it out of his pocket. He admits to Colette that he was unaware Joss was carrying a gun, and that Cyrus is now dead. He is then informed that since Cyrus attacked Liz and Lucky and an APB has been issued for him, it will be difficult to conceal the death. The cabin needs to be cleaned first because they know Anna will eventually find it. When Joss walks into Jack's office, he reminds her that she started the entire evening. He wanted to see what she would do with the information, so he assisted her in solving Dex's murder. Jack claims that she possesses all the traits of a fantastic WSB member, but Joss freaks out and asks if he is playing a game with her. Jack then makes it clear to her that he wants her to be one of them. Because of all that has happened, Joss is terrified, so Jack informs her that she needs a cover story. He gives her money to get a new phone after stating that her car is clean and outdoors. He also assures her that he will communicate with her. Say that's not the case. The current state of affairs has led many General Hospital viewers to speculate that actress Rebecca Herbst may be quitting the program. Spoilers for General Hospital. Will Rebecca Herbst be leaving? Fortunately, we have some answers for you. For all the information you require, continue reading below. Will Rebecca Herbst no longer be on the show? Many fans of General Hospital are curious about that. Because of the present plot and the possible confrontation between Cyrus and Elizabeth, there is conjecture that her time may be running out. After all, Cyrus killed Sam McCall, and many people think he might kill Elizabeth again. Unless she is able to outsmart him in his strategies, which she appears to be doing at the moment. On the other hand, there have been reports about Rebecca possibly leaving the show before. The first instance occurred in 2011, however the choice was met with such negative reaction that Rebecca returned to the serial opera right after. Additionally, there were speculations that Rebecca was leaving the show back in 2022. However, she had to correct the record on social media by stating that she wasn't fired, that she wasn't on vacation, and that she wasn't ill. At the moment, she just lacked a plot. Brennan gets rid of Cyrus' body and pushes Jocelyn to join WSB. The Port Charles underworld was always a place of secrets, deception, and power struggles. But no one expected Brennan to take such drastic action in the wake of Cyrus Renault's demise. With Cyrus gone, Brennan wasted no time in making sure his body disappeared, erasing any trace of the notorious criminal's influence from the streets of Port Charles. However, his next move shocked many. His sights were now set on Jocelyn Jacks, pushing her toward a life in the World Security Bureau, WSB. Brennan's swift cleanup of Cyrus' body. Cyrus Renault had been a menacing force for far too long, and many had wished for his downfall. But when his life was finally extinguished, the challenge of getting rid of the body fell to Brennan. The seasoned operative knew that leaving any trace of Cyrus' existence could invite trouble, not only from the authorities but also from those who still harbored loyalty to him. With meticulous planning, Brennan ensured that Cyrus' remains would never be found. Using his WSB connections, he arranged for the body to be transported out of Port Charles under the cover of darkness. Some speculated that the remains were incinerated or buried in an undisclosed location, but the truth remained a mystery, just as Brennan intended. His ability to clean up a mess so efficiently only cemented his dangerous reputation. Why Brennan targeted Jocelyn? Jocelyn Jacks, the daughter of Carly Spencer and Jasper Jacks, had always been seen as someone with a strong moral compass and a determination to stand up for what was right. However, she had never considered a career with the WSB, until Brennan saw something in her that even she hadn't recognized. Brennan had been observing Jocelyn for some time. Her resilience, intelligence, and natural ability to navigate dangerous situations made her an ideal candidate for the covert agency. Her experience dealing with the chaos of Port Charles, as well as her personal losses and struggles, had forged a young woman with a strong sense of justice. Brennan saw potential, and he wasn't about to let it go to waste. Jocelyn's resistance and conflicted feelings. When Brennan first approached Jocelyn about the opportunity, she was skeptical. She had dreams of becoming a doctor, and had worked hard to build a future in medicine. The idea of joining a secretive organization like the WSB seemed completely out of place with her goals. "You've got the instincts for it," Brennan told her during their first encounter about the topic. "You see things others don't, and you react under pressure without hesitation." The WSB could use someone like you. Jocelyn wasn't convinced. She had seen how the WSB operated through past encounters, and while she respected the organization, she didn't want to be part of a world where morality often took a backseat to results. But Brennan was persistent. He pointed out how the WSB could offer her the chance to protect people on a larger scale, ensuring justice in ways that regular law enforcement couldn't. He even went as far as to suggest that her medical knowledge could be an asset in field operations.